Okoye.
Okay, welcome back to Sunrise. We are going to start off with a look at the leadership of INEC. Before we get into that, I'd just like to let you know that you can be a part of the conversations via Twitter handles at @NeoTaigbe, @Yomi_Otaigbe, @Yomi_Otaigbe,
and
at NeoTaigbe, at Sunrise CTV. And then you can send a mail to sunrise@channelstv.com. Just so that you know that you can be a part of this. The phone lines will show as well, so you can call in if you do want to talk. But please, if you're calling, keep it short, simple, and straight to the point so that we can take in some other contributions as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at the leadership of INEC. The history of the Independent National Electoral Commission dates back to 1998. Stop. Are you saying there was an electoral commission before then? Yes, there was.
There was.
There was called
the
Electoral Commission of Nigeria, set up in 1959 to conduct the first elections.
There was FEDECO.
There's
NECON.
Then there was FEC, and now we have INEC. But all of that points to one thing. The electoral umpire in Nigeria has been in existence since 1959. But there's not been so much of noise as regards the leadership as much as there's been, or there appears to be now.
Recently.
Okay, she took the words from my mouth. Now, the current acting chairman of INEC, Mrs. Amina Zakari, is from Jega State. Some schools of thought feel that other presidents have always had to take the leadership of INEC from the other region where they are not from. Okay, but we're not going to those school of thought. We're looking at what is the noise all about. And to help us look at this, we have Mr. Festus Okoye joining us from our Abuja studio. He's the Executive Director, Human Rights Monitor. He's joining us from our Abuja studio. Here in the studio, we have Ken Odidika, a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
And Dele Ashiru, a political analyst. Thank you for coming. All right, gentlemen. I think Mr. Okoye is there. Mr. Okoye, let's begin with you. Thank you for joining us. But let's begin with you before we come back into the studio here. What do you think is causing all this noise around the leadership of INEC?
Well, I think that INEC is a very important institution within the democratic framework of the country. And because of its importance...
Okay. Mr. Okoye, if you can hear us, we'll come back to you. We're having a glitch there. We can't really hear you. So we'll come back in a moment to you. Let me bring it down here to the political analyst. What do you think is causing all this noise?
Well, there are about three key issues around, would you say it's a noise or the controversy? But whichever one it is, the first is the impropriety, of the delay in having to wait until the outgoing or the outgone commission chairman, Professor Atairu Jega, would have to hand over to somebody in his and the wisdom of the commission will be staying a little bit longer than majority of the commissioners that are in the commission at the moment. And then the sudden, unexpected intervention by the presidency, appointing somebody.
Unexpected? I mean, the Professor Jega had written to him, and he even said it in his words, we've written to the president, waiting for him. And then when he handed over, he said, until the president appoints.
And that makes it more culpable because, not only should the presidency know that Jega's tenure, is winding down. Jega patriotically also informed the presidency that by this exact date, I will no longer be the sheriff in the commission. And therefore, what is expected of any proactive, presidency is to put its ass together and appoint whosoever, because what the Constitution says is that it is the prerogative of the president to so appoint. So that was not done. And then Jega, well, according to him, in consultation with other commissioners thought that Ambassador Wali, who will be in the commission slightly longer than some other commissioners, particularly the Amina Zakari, who is now the subject of the noise or the controversy. And then suddenly the presidency became alive to its responsibility and says, okay, you can no longer hand over to whoever you may have handed over to. We are going to appoint, an acting chairperson. So that's one. The second is the person of the acting chairperson of INEC. Well, some have argued that she appears to be so close to the presidency. She's known to have worked at some point with some key elements in a political party. So that's another angle to it. Not only that, there are those who feel that at this point in time, we cannot begin to undo the so many good things that Jega had done in INEC. One of which is, the integrity, the person who heads that commission. And finally, the point you made not too long ago about having to appoint, if, for example, the president is from the north, it is expected that he looks elsewhere to appoint, the chairman of the commission. And I think President Goodluck Jonathan, in spite of all of his, all the barrage of criticisms that attended his stewardship of the country, still was courageous enough to search for Jega when it was clear by the submission of Uwais panel that one of the problems in that commission is the person who heads it. And they try to make some recommendations to correct that. But as we speak, I concede that is the prerogative of the president to appoint whosoever, either as acting or as substantive chairperson of that commission. But we are saying that at this juncture, at this time in the history of our country and in the history of the commission, somebody who is not as controversial, who is not as vilified as the case may be, should be appointed, and let that person continue, the good work that Jega had started in